What's happening, everybody? I am the Ball King Nostalgic, and this is SlickBlast RapCast. And if you noticed a little something, something, all right, we're going to be shout out to the wife for creating this gem of a t-shirt, and eventually we're going to get into some shirts, and check that out. Shout out to everybody that's on. Gem fam, what's going on, everybody? Boombox Essentials, what up, man? Thank you for posting that story, man. I appreciate it, bro. Everybody, as we anticipate the great Masta Ace, Juice Crew legend, shout out to everybody. And I'm pretty hyped for this one, as I'm sure everybody else is that's going to be on. It's exciting, you know? So, very excited. So, yeah, had a bust out with this bad boy. The wife whooped it up. And there goes the man with the plan. On like clockwork. Masta Ace, we appreciate you being on. All right, so I can send him an invite. Yes. Thank you. Yes, thank you, sis. The wife and I, we're going to give it a trial run, and for people that are interested, you know, you can DM me as we set this off. All right, so I'm going to invite Masta Ace on. I'm going to invite the legend on as we start this gravy train and get into this beautiful convo. All right, so there he is. I'm going to get it going. Saw this Puerto Rico, Latin Chico Rico Suave in a red Corolla. Hey, he doesn't want to play. As I'm saying this verse, he pops up out of he just pops up.
What's up? What's up?
How are you, my brother?
I'm good. What's happening?
Welcome to SlickBlast RapCast, man. This is an honor and a pleasure to have you on. And I want to thank, first and foremost, I want to thank the homie Wordsworth. He's your brother. He's I want to thank him for having you on and connecting. So it's this is an honor to have you on, my brother.
Yes, definitely. That's my bro for years, 20 years and counting.
Yes. So this man doesn't need an introduction, but it's only fitting and right to introduce this legend, Masta Ace, Juice Crew legend. He's a part of EMC. This guy, he's been all over the globe. And first and foremost, I like to do this with every guest, every OG and legend. I want to give you your flowers physically while we're here talking right now. I think that's important. And I want to say on behalf of myself, a fan since day one, and I'm sure a lot of people chiming in as well, we want to thank you for staying dope, for being yourself, consistent, and just being a purveyor of the culture, man. We appreciate what you've done since day one. This is so I want to thank you, man, and give you your virtual flowers, throw them at you.
Thank you. The key thing you said there was being myself, and I've always tried to do that. And when young artists ask me for advice, that's one of the first things that I tell them is to only rap about what's true to you, what's true to your reality. So being yourself is super important.
Absolutely, man. And if we can, I think it's only right, man. If we could have a moment of silence just for about 10, 15 seconds as you lost your brother. And, you know, it's only right for Biz Markie. I just wanted to do a moment of silence, if we can, just to, you know, and
sure.
And salute him, you know. So, yeah. So just a moment of silence for Biz Markie. All right. Amen. I thought that was important, man, because obviously the timing and all that stuff, you know, it's just yeah, man, it's important to keep posting his songs, keep posting videos. I love the fact that different MCs, different, you know, friends, family, they're continuing to post. And I think that's important, you know, to keep his legacy alive. And so just wanted to throw that in there.
Definitely. I got a few ideas on how we can honor him. I'm going to be sharing that with some of my Juice Crew brothers in the next week or so, just to see if anybody's interested in my ideas.
Absolutely, man. Definitely. We'll be supporting 100%. And I also want to thank you once again for being on because again, I know it's a rough patch and also you're busy. And with that situation, I appreciate you being on, man. Because,
Nah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. You come highly recommended from my guy Wordsworth. When he gives somebody the nod, I know they're legit. So
thank you, man. I appreciate that. So, hey, man, so I'm noticing, man. So I noticed you've been doing the fitness thing in terms of biking. So do you have like that's dope, man. I see you post with your other friends and your people. Is that like an organization, like a biking, like a
yeah,
biker community group type of thing? Can you talk a little bit about that?
it's a bike crew. It was formed last year during the lockdown. People were just tired of sitting in the house, I guess, and
Of course.
two or three guys just decided to go bike riding one day on their mountain bikes, and then they invited the next, and they said, "We should do this every week," and they invited a couple more friends, and before you know it, it was 20 guys riding together, and they started, scouting routes, and now we're like a full-fledged bike crew. I probably joined about a month after they started it, and I heard through my wife saw them online, and she mentioned it to me because I was telling her that I was tired of just being in the house. Gym was closed, so
Right.
I was doing little rides in my neighborhood, and she was like, "Oh, these guys out here, they ride like it's a bunch of them." And so I joined probably last year. I think my first ride was probably in June or May, and I've been riding with them every weekend, pretty much every weekend ever since.
That's super dope, man. Yeah, and it's great because health is wealth, right? We got to take care of ourselves as we
Absolutely.
age, yeah, as we age gracefully. And we're not old. We're just getting better with age. It's like fine wine. So it's important, man.
Old is relative anyway to me,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. It's a state of mind, right? It's a state of mind and where your heart and where your head is at. And to me, that's important. So
Absolutely.
yeah, man. So a lot of people, of course, a lot of people are excited to have you on, man. This is like I said, dude, VHS days, Rap City, MTV Raps. I had my little fruit bowl hair, fade, my grandmother $5 haircut, bumping Crooklyn Dodgers, and I would rewind that track, bro. Like whether I had to go to school, wake up in the morning, or even at night, like just staying up at 2 in the morning. It's just your verse, bro. You said it feels so good to be a Crooklyn Dodger. What's happening to Rerun and Roger? That's crazy, dude.
I mean, those lyrics were inspired by Spike himself because the original version of that song, we were just kind of just rapping like typical, braggadocio kind of rap lyrics.
Right.
And when he heard the song, he's like, the song is cool, but it doesn't really speak to the movie the way it should. And so
Hmm.
he set up a private screening of the movie for us. And we got to watch Crooklyn in a room with about 20 people. And after we saw the movie and we saw that it was based in the 70s and it was a period piece and it was all about the 70s, and he was like, well, now that you've seen it, go back and rewrite the song based on what you saw. So I understood at that point that he wanted mentions of the 70s, and so we all just tried to give him lyrics that touched on a back in the days vibe and the 70s vibe.
Right. And you guys did that lovely because as you guys are spitting all those lyrics, we were obviously visualizing it as it coincided with the soundtrack and just the movie itself. So you guys did a beautiful job on that whole concept. And even I'm sure aside from me, like a lot of heads that grew up in the golden era with you guys and all the legends, a lot of us were like, man, we wanted more of that, because it was a posse cut, obviously, of three phenomenal MCs coming together. And I was just saying to myself, like, imagine that. Imagine them doing 8 tracks together, whether it's 6 or 8. I think that would have been like, it would have been insane. I think it would have been nuts.
There was a possibility that was going to happen. Spike actually wanted to do it, and, we tried to make it happen, but due to schedules of some of the people involved, it never came to fruition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair. And I wanted to show you this real quick because this was a great memory. And I know you remember this. I mean, you've been all over the world, but so you were great. You were gracious enough to sign this as you signed for a lot of heads that night. This was in Chicago.
Oh, Shot Town. What
Yeah.
year was that?
So okay, we're in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So
Oh, wait.
you had group
2019
home.
was the outdoor event, right?
No, this was the
Hyde Park.
indoor. Yes, correct. Hyde Park, where it's
Oh,
like
I know which one you're talking about.
the promontory.
Group Home was on that show.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
Group
yeah.
home
Oh, yeah.
open.
It says right there, Group Home. All right, yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that show.
Yeah, man. So that stood out.
That must
My
have been
wife.
18. I don't seem like that was 19.
You don't think? Oh, I'm thinking it was 18 or 19, but I'm not
I don't think it was
100%
19
sure.
because I dropped me and Marco dropped Brooklyn Story in 19. I think it might have been 18.
Okay, so you're probably right, and
I got
probably eight.
pictures.
Okay, nice.
Actually,
Yeah,
I posted one of those pictures today.
get out of here.
Yeah, I posted a picture because it's my guy Pearl Gates' birthday.
Okay. Oh yes, you posted that. Yeah, yeah.
And I took a picture. He was with me there, and I took a
Nice.
picture with we took a picture backstage with Group Home, and I watched. That's one of the pictures I wound up using.
That's dope, man. Yeah, because I posted that. It was a picture of my wife, my friend Soul. It was just us three that went that night, and it was a phenomenal night, man. And I remember you doing that freestyle of "Son of Yvonne." Everybody went nuts when you came out of nowhere. You had the gown on, like the graduation theme, and it was nice, man. It was a great show.
I
So
remember that because there was a band, and we did like 3 songs with the band and then 3 songs off track. It was good.
yes,
It was cool.
definitely. And then you did it a cappella as well. So that was definitely ill business. That was dope. Yeah, man. So do you mind if we take a virtual ride into the DeLorean and take it back a little bit? Is it okay if we could do that?
Wherever you want to go, man. It's your show.
All right, my brother. That sounds good. So I want to know, because people assume like the Juice Crew just they just landed, like they were just all there together. How did you and the Juice Crew come about, man? Was it a neighborhood thing, like peeps in the neighborhood, or was it as far as MCing goes? How did you and the Juice Crew form? Like, how did that come to fruition?
Well, before I ever even got down, the Juice Crew was already a thing. They were already like they had already made Juice Crew All Stars. They already had MC Shan, Roxanne Shante, Biz Markie.
Right.
Kane had just got down. Marley, of course, was the producer. Craig G was down. So when I joined, they were kind of already moving. G-Rap was already down. He had put a couple of 12-inch singles out. So I was kind of like the new guy. But they were already established. Like that name, Juice Crew, had already been branded by Mr. Magic, and the song, like I said, the song they did, Juice Crew All Stars. And yeah, I was just a regular fan going to the hip hop clubs when that song came out. So I was really a late addition to the crew.
Wow. You just dropped the gem on me because I did not know that. So that's dope. That's pretty cool. A cool nugget of history. So, because I know that Marley Marl came out with it was a compilation. It was not in '88, man. In Control, was it? It was In Control.
Yep.
And there was a gentleman that rhymed with you. Was his name Action? Action. I think A started with an A. He was on the song with you.
So I was trying, for the longest time, I was trying to establish a group concept as opposed to a solo artist. And so I used Ace in Action as a way to try to make it feel more like a group. That didn't really work. People got confused. They thought Action was a person. Like you just said, you thought he rhymed. Like it was really not it was just a crew of the guys that I rode with, that produced with me and made records with me. But it was just too hard to grasp. It wasn't being branded the right way. And so I wound up dropping the Ace. I did one single under Ace in Action, but then I dropped the whole Action thing because people kept calling my DJ Steady Pace. They kept calling him Action. He was sick and tired of it. So It
Yeah,
was just too confusing. Sometimes you come up with something you think is dope, and then it just gets confusing, and you leave it alone. But
definitely.
nobody else rhymed on those songs. It's just me.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for clarifying that because I was one of the people you mentioned that thought that he was an MC. So thank you for clarifying that.
No problem.
Yeah, man. So, and I noticed too, man. I like again, man. I like to support all the MCs that I grew up, admiring and just that are dope to me, obviously, and influenced me as well. Uh, I noticed on your website, and that's pretty cool. So you have obviously you're health conscious, which is a beautiful thing. Health is wealth. I noticed that you have moss, sea moss, right? It's sea moss gel, I believe.
Most gel, yeah, yep.
That's pretty dope. And how long did you start? How long did when did that start? As far as the idea of
I
the,
mean, I just went online and I figured out that it was very easy to make, and I tried it out. I made it for myself, and I was just making it for myself. I would make it every couple weeks. I'd make a new batch, and I would just include it with my smoothies, my drinks, and then somebody was like, "Yo, you should start selling it because people will buy it." And I noticed there were a bunch of people, excuse me, selling it online.
right.
So I said, all right, I'll try it and see if there's any interest. And I put it up on the website, and a bunch of people bought it. A couple of like repeat customers that have bought it multiple times, 5, 6 times, one person. Yeah, it's just another, thing to add to your regimen of trying to eat right, stay healthy, keep your blood pressure down, things of that nature. So I've used that's why I started doing it. It was just for myself, and then I wound up selling it on the website for other people that were interested.
And that's dope because you're spreading the love and the health consciousness, and for people to have their mind, body, and soul correct. So I admire that you're doing that, man. That's refreshing.
Absolutely.
Because you see, a lot of times you just see MCs promoting their merch and that's it. So you definitely stepped out of the box with that one. So you salute to doing that. Refreshing idea. That's pretty dope.
Absolutely. And when people order it, I make it fresh. Like if somebody placed the order this afternoon, I would be soaking it overnight tonight. In the morning, I would be washing it thoroughly, making it and shipping it probably by tomorrow evening. Like it goes out like that fast.
Wow. So everybody that's on SlickBlast RapCast, we want to thank you for being on. We appreciate everybody and acknowledge everybody. Go check out Master Ace's his natural sea moss and go support that because it's a beautiful thing.
MasterAce.com, MasterAce.com.
MasterAce.com, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
And basically, this is another thing too, man. It's crazy. I posted on my IG story. I was walking my dog Mila. I walk her every morning. I walk around 45 minutes in the neighborhood. On our block, he's a retired gentleman. He's in his 60s, but he's an OG. He had it's like a lowrider type of car, right?
Okay.
A beautiful old school lowrider type of car. And I'm trying to remember the company, but I forgot. And as I'm walking, he's parking in the alley. And radio, dude, Born to Roll was the first track that popped in my head when I saw his lowrider, his old school hoopty.
Right.
And I'm like, and he's like, oh, you can take a picture of it. He thought I was just taking a picture, but I was doing an IG story, and then I had to put Born to Roll on that. It was just a proper theme for that moment,
It just went with it because in the video, we shot the video at the Los Angeles Super Show, which is a huge car show in LA.
Yes.
At the Coliseum, and so when you see that video, you see all of those types of cars. It just automatic. That's what comes to mind.
And that verse, like I said, when you popped up, literally as I'm saying the verse, saw this Puerto Rican Latin Chico Rico Suave and a red Corolla. It's hilarious and it's classic because me being a Puerto Rican. Here in Chicago, that's all you saw in the 90s was Toyota Corollas, bro. Like you saw, if it wasn't Honda Accords with the Batman lights, like the eye lights, it was Toyota Corollas. That's all you saw in Chicago.
That's
in a majority.
Brooklyn too.
Same thing, exactly. So it's a dope line that stands out, man. It's a monumental line, and I wanted to ask you about that too.
Yeah.
Are you still do you still have communication with Lord Digger and Paula Perry from the INC, the crew?
Nah, nah, negative. No, no
Okay,
communication.
got you. Okay, okay. Because that album, yeah, that's another classic album. Just West Coast, obviously West Coast bounce and feel, but still the East Coast boom bap elements. So another classic album, man.
Thank you.
So we got one of the homies on Boogie. He said in Jersey, Puerto Rico. Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of Puerto Ricans in Jersey, man. That's definite. That's
Corollas was strong in Brooklyn too. Lower East
absolutely,
Side at Manhattan.
absolutely. And MF Doom. See, that's another thing. You're so multifaceted, and you stick to your formula, which is great because there's some MCs that that kind of want to switch it up just to kind of stay relevant. You naturally do that. You genuinely and naturally do that just being yourself, like I said earlier. And the fact that from the beginning up to now, and it's still priceless, man. It's still timeless. And I wanted to ask you about you and Doom because rest in peace, MF Doom. You know,
Peace.
everybody, yeah, definitely. Everybody has an MF Doom story. I wanted to know how did you, and Doom, how did that happen, man? Because it's always seems to be like just an interesting story in terms of that with different MCs.
So the way the album came about is a friend of mine. I was riding with him in his car, and he's playing all these instrumentals,
Hmm.
and some of the beats were kind of dope. And I was like, "Yo, who did these beats?"
Mm.
He's like, "Oh, these are MF Doom beats." He released a series of his instrumentals, stuff that had been previously released on different people's projects. He basically compiled all his instrumentals and released them in a box set or a series of different releases. And so he was listening to one of the volumes of that box set, and it was like 60 beats maybe. And I was like, man, I mess with this. It's just some of these joints are dope, right? So next time I saw him, he handed me a CD. He's like, here, you said you like them Doom beats, so here. So I was like, yo, good looking out. So I started driving around. I would just play the instrumentals all the time. And
Wow.
the more I would listen to the instrumentals, I started getting ideas for songs, ideas for lyrics. And I was like, maybe I should do a little mixtape because I was kind of in between projects,
Right.
and so I was like, maybe I should, do a mixtape. So I started I started jotting little lines down for this mixtape. And I was
Right.
just going to throw it out there for free because in that time period, 2011, 2012, that was pretty common. Like artists would just throw out free mixtapes just to keep the buzz going. So that was the plan. And then we had a meeting with Fat Beats Records, and my partner Filthy Rich mentioned in the meeting that I was working on this mixtape over Doom beats. And when they heard that, they immediately were like, "No, we are not. We can't let you do that. Like
Mm.
we will." We will basically finance that to be a legit project.
Wow.
So they put their money where their mouth was and turned it. And from that point, I said, if somebody's going to actually invest money, it's not a mixtape anymore. So I need to really make it an album about something. And so I decided to dedicate the album to the memory of my moms and kind of tell the story of myself around the age of 12, 13 years old. And that's how that album came about.
That's so beautiful, and God rest her soul. By the way, it's definitely when you performed that at the Promontory in Chicago, it was special, man. Just it was heartfelt, and a lot of people felt it when just the way you displayed it. It was the last song I remember. It was the last song that you performed, and it was special, So
Yeah,
salute to you doing that,
thank you.
Um, so a lot of people might not know this either. Again, Master Ace is you've collaborated with everybody and their mama, it seems
Uh,
like, and it's a
not,
dope thing.
not, not even close. I don't collaborate with a lot of people. I have a few people that I've collaborated with that are notables, but throughout my career, there's very minimal collabs on the records.
And I
I did
guess when
more
I'm
I did more later, but early in my career it was like almost none.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Later on in your career, and I guess the Juice Crew, I'm including that in EMC as well. Just a nice mesh of good people and a consistent circle, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so you did make a song with Eminem, right?
Yeah, I'm on a song with Eminem. I won't say I made a song with Eminem because it was one of those songs where he had done a verse for somebody, for my partner, Filthy Rich, DJ Rob. He had done a verse for them for a project, and they never put the verse out. So it was just kind of sitting there collecting dust.
Oh
And
wow,
in the process, he did the verse when he was still unknown. He was bubbling on the underground, but he wasn't like a worldwide. He wasn't what he is now.
gotcha.
He still didn't have a deal yet when he did that verse. And
That's
so
crazy.
they were working on a compilation, and they were like, man, we got this Eminem verse, and he's kind of getting kind of hot right now. You know, we paid him for the verse, so we want to use it. And they came up with a new beat for it, and they asked me to jump on it, and I jumped on it. That's pretty much how that happened.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's
Along with
pretty
another
dope.
brother, Jay Black. Got to shout out Jay Black because he's on the song. He does the hook and he has a verse on there.
All right, shout out to Jay Black. Definitely, much love to him. Much love. Um, A Long Hot Summer, man. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that album a little bit?
Yeah.
A Long Hot Summer. So, what was the whole concept with that? Like, what was your thought process as with A Long Hot Summer? Because that's an underground classic. You know, that's something I just want to revisit because it was a good time in hip hop. You know.
So A Long Hot Summer dropped in '04. And the album that preceded A Long Hot Summer was an album called Disposable Arts.
Correct.
When I put that album out in '01, I want to say 3-4 weeks after Disposable Arts came out, our distributor folded. They went out of business. The project didn't get anywhere near the distribution and attention that it deserved. And so I felt really, really mad because that was, in my mind, that was going to be my last album. But
Oh
then,
man.
but when the project got kind of lost in the sauce because of the label going out of business, I said, well, I got to do one more record, and I can't leave it on that note. And so I said, I'm gonna do another record, but I'm gonna make the story on that album be the prequel to Disposable Arts, because on Disposable Arts, the very beginning of the album, you have my character coming out of jail, out of figurative jail.
Yes.
And so in jail just meant, me being not out on the streets in terms of music for like 5 years. And so now I was finally back out on the streets with new music. And so what I decided to do with A Long Hot Summer is make the story on that album be what happened the summer before or the year before my character ended up going to jail. So it tells the story of why the character on Disposable Arts was coming out of jail in the first place. So I tell this whole detailed story on The Long Hot Summer. The idea was when I start to do press and interviews, I'd be able to tell people, oh yeah, there's another album where you can hear the rest of the story, what happens after I come out of jail. And so it was A Long Hot Summer was my way of trying to get people to still go back and listen to Disposable Arts.
And then we have some people commenting. The homie Dale from Australia, all the way from Australia, he's a fan of yours as well. Gem fam. Acknowledge is the rawest track. He said that's his favorite track on the album.
Definitely
There's a lot of
definitely.
it's a classic album. I mean, like I said, it's one of those things. Like I said, this platform, this platform is done from the heart, man. I want to remind people that real hip hop is alive and well, and it's timeless. So whether you hear it, whether it came out 12 years ago, 15 years ago, that's irrelevant to me. Music is timeless. And it's funny when some people say, oh, that's old. Yeah, I remember that track. That's old. Nah, I don't look at it that way. I look at it as a state of mind. You hearing it in the moment, it doesn't matter what year you're in. Like I said, it's just timeless to me. So
there are people that are still hearing Disposable Arts and A Long Hot Summer today for the
yep.
first time and don't know that it came out years back.
That's funny that you say that because I can see that. I can see that. Especially with the younger generation not knowing better and people, you know, maybe their uncles, their parents are trying to school them and now they're learning, you know, late. Better late than never though, you know, which is a good thing.
That's right.
So absolutely. And nobody, okay, I still played in the car. You see? I mean, just like Master Ace said, it's still relevant and all these comments are showing that and it's a reflection of it. So that's a beautiful thing. And I was gonna ask you, Ace,
Uh-huh.
I missed out on the I really want to get that Juice Crew shirt, and I believe they're sold out, right? You know the Juice Crew with the caricatures of like the cartoon heads of all you guys.
Oh,
Is there any?
I thought you meant this one.
Oh,
This is the Crew Reunion Tour shirt.
that's
These are sold out. The Symphony T-shirts are sold out as well, but we have hoodies. That's what I did the shirts like two summers ago,
right.
and then they sold out. And then this past winter, I decided to do the hoodies, and so the hoodies were selling really well while it was still cold. But obviously, once the summer started to roll around, it slowed down. But I took a bunch of hoodies with me to Boston and sold a bunch of them there.
That's dope. Yeah. Well, I want to get myself one before the night is over because it's one of those things. You know, life happens sometimes.
Well, the
You
winter's
gener
coming. The winter's coming, so you might as well get the hoodie.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I want to get that hoodie because winters in Chicago and New York ain't nothing nice, as we know. It ain't.
Especially Chicago.
You already know, bro. Exactly. It's rough. It's rough. So that'll be a dope gem to add to the collection, to the memorabilia collection. And so a gentleman on the comments said, which that's a good question. He beat me to it. He was asking, how did you and Marco Polo, because you guys make, man, you guys make beautiful music together. How did you and Marco Polo, how did that come about, that organic connection?
So I was at a studio in Manhattan back in probably 2005, right like after Long Hot Summer came out. I was in the studio called the Cutting Room. I was doing a session. I can't remember exactly who I was doing a session with, but on my way out the door, actually it was probably earlier than that, probably 2003, because I don't think summer had dropped yet. I was coming out, I was leaving the studio, and this young skinny white kid came up to me and was like, "Yo, man, I do beats." And he handed me a CD. I was like, "Cool, I'll check it out." And I went home and listened to it, and I was like, "Man, this kid actually got some talent." I heard the drum programming, the way he, because not everybody can do those drums. They don't know how to make the drums swing the right way for artists to flow on them. A lot of them will have really nice samples, and then when the drums come in, you're like, next joint. You just skip it. Like as soon as the drums come in, if they don't get me, I skip. Even if I like the sample. So
right.
But what I heard on his CD, on his beat CD, was really beat making talent. And I said, this kid is kind of dope. I sent him a message. I think I called him. I said, "Yo, send me some more beats." And he sent me another batch. And of that second batch of beats on the CD, I wound up picking something from my album for a Long Hot Summer.
Yes.
But it was definitely 03 or 02 because he has a song on that album, "Do It Man," featuring rapper Noid. And so I picked that "Do It Man" beat from that next batch of beats. The Nostalgia, the song me and him have, Nostalgia, was actually on that same batch of beats.
Banger.
And believe it or not, one of the songs off of our album that came out in 2019,
Brooklyn, yes, Brooklyn.
Yeah, there's a song on that album called "You and I" about my wife, and that beat was on that CD too. You're talking about 2002. That beat was on that CD. So I held on to that beat all those years.
That's amazing.
Yep.
And it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's timeless. Like I said, It could be from 2002. It's still relevant because it's got that boom bap, you know, that natural boom bap element. And yeah, Marco Polo's a talented dude, man. Port Authority, that's what caught my eye when I first started paying attention as far as like diving into that album. Yeah. And then when I found out you and him linked up, I was like, damn, that's like Pippen and Jordan, man. You know, it's just a.
When we did the Nostalgia song, I don't think either of us expected to get the reaction that we got, because people really gravitated to that song, and I started putting it in my show. I started performing it, you know, in my set, and people in Europe especially would go crazy over that song. The video came out. The video like passed 1 million views in like a year. I'm like, 1 million views? What's going on? It's up. It's like 8 million now. It's like 8 million views now. So there's something about that song that just resonated with people.
Yes.
And so, you know, a lot of fans wanted us to do more records because they love that song so much. And we just had to wait until our schedules were both clear at the same time. And, you know, it recently got, both of us were free and clear at the same time. And so we started recording that album, and A Brooklyn Story was the result.
Yes. Classic, by the way. Smith & Wesson, the anthem, Brooklyn, the same title as the album. Phenomenal joint, man. And that's what I like to do, man. All my guests that I've been blessed to have on this still new show, I like to dive into the albums. 2 days in a row, 1 or 2 days, walking a dog, doing laundry. I like to dive into it and just bring myself back to that essence, you know, when you guys record it. So it's a beautiful thing, man. And I did see because you know, on Spotify when you're looking for albums to revisit, so are you going to Paris, if I'm not mistaken? Are you going to tour, or are you going to go do a show in Paris? Is that correct? Or
yeah, there's a festival happening in Paris in October.
damn.
It was actually booked a year ago. It was booked in July of 2020. The promoters were trying to be optimistic that by October of the following year that things would be back to normal. And as they start to get back to normal, you know, we hope that by October things are okay. We don't know where things are going to be at by October,
Right.
with these lockdowns and all of this. But yeah, I'm scheduled to be on this bill with EPMD and Onyx and
Oh my God.
Underground. It's a crazy lineup. I think I posted the flyer a couple of days ago.
Wow.
It's a crazy lineup of artists on the bill.
That's going to be special, man. And I'll declare it, man. You know, I'm as optimistic as I can be. I'm going to declare it and pray on it that it happens, and none of this stuff that's going on will interrupt it. So let's declare it, you know, that'll happen in October, because we'll definitely be looking forward to that.
Let's declare it.
That's right. And there's a song that stands out, man, from A Long Hot Summer. It's I was bumping it earlier, actually, before the show started, and I had to revisit it once again. The song with Jean Grey, Soda and
Soap.
Soda and Soap.
Yeah.
How did that? So how long were you friends with Jean Grey, or how did that happen in terms of a collabo? Were you already cool with her, like, or you just?
I was already cool with her, and I had produced a song on her debut album, and so we got cool from then. And she actually featured on Disposable Arts,
Yes.
on a song called Hold You, and so we just kind of kept the relationship going. And I asked her to be on the Long Hot Summer album as well. She just did a hook though, because at that point she was already about to sign to another label, and so
Right.
I didn't want to complicate things with a verse. So I was just like, yo, just do the hook. And she knocked out the hook, and that was that.
Well, super dope, man. Super dope. So I asked everybody this on the show. I think it's just a kind of a cool thing where you can kind of picture yourself in the scenario, Master Ace. Dead or alive, 3 people. It could be an MC. It could be a group. It could be a producer, a breakdancer. All of the 5 elements of hip hop. 3 people that come to your mind that you would want to work with, dead or alive, if they said, Master Ace, let's do some work, that you have not worked with, and somebody that you would love to work with, because, you know, not everybody has the opportunity sometimes, because life happens.
The first one is Dr. Dre.
Woo!
First one is Dr. Dre, because
nice.
I've always wanted to be in one of his sessions so that I could see how he mixes his songs. I need to know the secrets. He's got secrets that he's not sharing with the world of how
right.
He gets these songs to knock the way they knock. He has a different type of volume. All his songs are so much louder than everybody else's songs. And I always wanted to know how he does that stuff. So he would be the first person, I would say, for sure.
Oh my God.
Um,
Man, goosebumps.
yeah. I'll say Biz, because we never got to really do the song together that we were supposed to do. It would have been great to years later to finally get that collaboration, even though he wasn't really rapping anymore. You know, he was kind of just DJing and focused on that. But
Right.
certainly, if I could, you know, turn back the hands of time,
Absolutely.
or bring him back, just to bring him back, just to record.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so Dr. Dre, Biz, and then um man, so many people, yo, so many
I
people.
know. It's a tough one. I know. But I like to keep people on their toes, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's I'm just weird with the collabs because I never like conceptualize my collaborations ahead of time. I always wait and hear the song and then I figure out who fits it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, that's how I've always done it. Um,
So far, you got two dope answers. So far, everybody's loving the Dr. Dre one, and man, people are going nuts for the Dr. Dre one. Let's declare that. By the way, let's declare that at some point because that'll be something phenomenal.
that'll be
I,
cool. That'll be cool.
absolutely, it'll be beautiful.
I'll say for my third person, I'll say Missy Elliott
Ooh, I like it.
because she's just out the box. She's always been ultra creative and not afraid to take chances and do. She never did her stuff um, straight down the middle with everybody else. She was always off to the left, and I've always
Yes,
tried to keep my mentality that way, just being a little bit off to the left. I might not do as weird. She may be a little bit more weird, eccentric. I would say better word.
correct.
You
Right.
know, but being around somebody as creative as her, it's going to bring out more creativity in me. Well, I
Yes,
didn't think I would never. That's something I would never do. But that's what I need. I need somebody that will push me to do something that I would never do on my own. Because I'm very practical and real,
right.
real measured, and I kind of know, this is how it has to sound and be. And you need somebody that's going to push you a little bit. I think she would. I think she would push me creatively with her ideas.
Absolutely, yeah, because like you said, you stick to your formula and it works. You have a balanced scale with your music and it's respected and loved. But with Missy, I think definitely she would challenge you. I think doing her little giggles with the he. I don't know. I could see it happening. It'll be a nice concoction and it'll be a banger for sure. That's wow. That's an interesting pick, man. Missy Elliott. For her, honestly, I can does this make sense? She's like the female version of Busta Rhymes, and this is what I mean. In terms of her videos with Hype Williams, the
Mm-hmm.
creativity, the visual effects, the
Yeah,
costumes, and then the dancing, the vocals. Like she's a three-headed monster. I mean, that's how talented she is, multifaceted. So
absolutely.
yeah, so wow. Dr. Dre, Biz Markie, rest in hip hop heaven, and Missy Elliott, the legend. So there you have it. That's Master Aces 3. And ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have questions for Master Ace, I like to the people that are chiming in, I like to involve them as well. They're important. So if anybody has any questions for Master Ace, feel free to shoot.
Haven't put them in that box. All you gotta do is touch that question mark at the bottom and put your questions in there. Because it's kind of
There,
hard to read these questions as they're scrolling so fast. But if you touch the little question mark at the bottom of the screen, you,
okay.
you can put your question in the chat, and then he can read each question and decide which ones he wants to read.
All right. Good looking out, Master Ace. Good looks. Okay. Boombox Essentials. That's the homie, by the way, from London. Can we talk about his? Okay. So I'll answer actually. Yeah. So Boombox Essential says, can we talk about his first album and that Music Man track? I think he posted that track today and on my story. Music Man.
Uh-huh.
He wants to know about Music Man. If you can elaborate on that as far as you know the essence of it and the foundation.
Well, the loop itself, I found the loop in Marley's records. I was at Marley's house working on my album, and he was sleeping late as usual. I
Hmm.
was up. I was up early because I'm just hyped to get my album done, and I was just going through his records, just to kill time until he woke up. And I found that loop, I think the group was called Grand Funk Railroad or something like that. And I heard that loop, and I was like, I like that bass line. This is kind of funky right here.
Oh
And
yeah.
I brought the needle back a couple of times, and that it must have woke him up from his sleep, because he came downstairs like, pushed me out the way. What is that? Move. and immediately turned the sampler on, because I didn't know how to use the drum. I didn't know how to use samplers, machines, none of that. I knew how to hear records and go, I want to rap over that.
Right.
So he came downstairs and was like, yo, what is that? I was like, something I just found. He didn't even know it was his record. And so
That's funny.
he sampled it and started chopping it up. And there was a record that my mom said, because a lot of my first album was influenced by my mom's record collection. A lot of those loops and stuff were from her records.
Nice. Very dope.
But there was a group, and I don't remember the group, or it was either a group or an artist. And there was this part in their song where I think it was like a chorus or something. And they would say, here come the music, man. And that always stuck with my head. I was like, I want to use that for something. I wound up not using that in the song because it didn't fit, but that's how I got the title. I got it from that.
Wow. There you go, Boombox. That's your answer, and that's a dope answer, by the way, and a true answer. How far? Okay, so Earth One, she's a part of the Gem fam. Show off your gems. How far have you been riding? How far have you ridden on your bike? And that's a good question, because we were talking about that earlier.
The longest distance I've rode was 51 miles. That was a few
Lord
years
have.
ago. The bike crew, we went to Philadelphia and we rode 50. That was the longest I had ridden. Today I did 40 just on some. Me and one of my bike crew brothers. He was in the mood to ride. He's like, "You want to ride?" And it was early in the morning. I said, "If we get out there early before the sun come up, I'm down." And we didn't really know how far we were going to end up going, but we rode. We ended up doing 40 miles total round trip.
Wow, that's impressive, man. Damn. And just New York, the visuals look beautiful, man. You've posted pictures of riding the bikes, and in the background of the bridge, and then it seems like a lot of white spaces when you're riding the bikes, which is cool. Yeah. The bike trails seem a lot wider, which I like that.
I didn't post the pictures from today's ride yet, but real beautiful. We rode all the way out to Sandy Hook, which is a beach. It's like an island, a beach island, I guess, on the very end of New Jersey. And so later on today, I'll be posting some of those pictures.
Dope, man, for sure. And then we have a question by Dale from Australia, the homie Dale. I call him Dale Buster Video. He has every VHS on Mankind. What are some of your favorite tracks? Yeah, any artist or genre. So he wants to know, like, what type of music are you feeling, or what do you like aside from hip hop? It's not,
So when I ride my bike, I have a playlist that consists of pretty much 80s soul and disco. There's a lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire in there, and that's probably because that was my mom's favorite group. That's the group she had the most probably albums by.
Legends.
Was Earth, Wind, and Fire, and so I play a lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire. But there's a real good mixture of soul and disco in my playlist, and I just put it on shuffle and let it rock. And so it's a lot. The majority of the music that I listen to when I'm riding is music that is from my childhood.
Right.
And so it's basically, there's a sense of calm hearing music from my childhood, because it reminds me of a time when my mother and grandmother were still alive. So that's why I listen to that music.
That's beautiful. And it's the nostalgia feeling of it, right? It's a feel-good feeling, because times were simpler back then. Life was just better. You were younger, vibrant, just learning things. So yeah, music back then was timeless. To this day, like Absolutely. You said. Yeah, Soul Sack said, "Don't make me cry." Hey, man, cry as long as it's tears of joy, man. Don't as long as it's tears of joy. All right. So we got. Okay, Eddie Bischetti, another homie. He said, what make and model bike you rocking with? That's a good question because Master Ace, I saw your bike. It looks very like quality. It looks like a good durable, solid brand. So Eddie
Yeah,
wants to know.
I bought it at the beginning of this summer. It's a Cannondale Topstone 3. It's a gravel bike. I caught it on a nice sale, and I wasn't even looking for a bike. I knew eventually I was going to get a new bike, but I wasn't actively looking for a bike. I was just in this bike shop that I go to. It was on display. I looked at the price tag. I'm like, I'm not mad at this price. It was the right size bike, and I wanted a gravel as opposed to a road bike, just because sometimes we're on gravel and dustier, dirtier trails and stuff like that.
Right. Rugged terrain. Rugged
Yeah,
terrain.
yeah. And I mean, I'm not doing straight, big bumps and jumps, but it's just good to be able to go off road and still feel confident. Some of the guys with the road bikes, when they go off road at all, even on gravel, they catching flat tires, they slipping and sliding. And so for my money, it made more sense to get a gravel as opposed to a road bike. But when we get on the open highways and streets and asphalt, those guys have the advantage because those bikes are fast as hell, light, and they take off. But it's a Cannondale Topstone 3.
That's dope. Yeah, it's a dope bike, man. The quality and everything like that. So, all right, one last question from, well, any chance of another KRS Masta and Edo joint? Asked by Tony Bartley.
I mean, certainly not that exact combination because that was just one of those. That was one of those lightning in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
The stars aligned at the perfect times because to get KRS on the track is, I don't know how easy that would be normally, but it just happened to work out, and he blessed us with his voice. I didn't think I would ever do a song with KRS One, but that happened. I'm glad it happened. But I don't know if it's something that you revisit or you just happy that it happened and take it for what it's worth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And EMC, man. So shout out. Hey, once again, I want to thank Wordsworth because I had him on the show. He's a really good brother, man. And obviously you guys have a great chemistry together. Once again, I want to thank him for reaching out to you. So thank you, Wordsworth. I appreciate you, brother. And I wanted to talk about you three gentlemen. I told him too. He was laughing. I said, you guys are like, the chemistry is like Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. It's just a natural brotherhood. It's a connection that's genuine. It's like the hip hop, Alvin and Simon and Theodore, EMC. So,
which one am I?
What's that?
Which one am I?
You're Alvin, man. You're Alvin.
Alvin is the one always causing problems and getting in trouble. That ain't me. That's definitely not me. I'm straight laced. I do everything. I'm by the book.
But he's but I see him as a leader, though. I see him as like the leader. I don't know.
But he leads in bad ways. He leads them down the wrong path. I don't know if we have an Alvin in the crew, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
only three of us is Alvin.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You got me on that one. Alvin has a good heart. All right.
Intentions are good, right?
Exactly. He has good intentions. But yeah, just the chemistry, man. EMC, the show, the Tonight Show. I was asking him, are you guys planning to do something? And he did say, from out of his respect, he said, definitely something's going to be brewing soon. It's just a matter of when, and it's got to happen organically. So yeah, that was my question: is can we, at some point in time, hear another EMC album?
That would be the plan. That is the plan. We just have, you got three different artists, three different MCs with, in some cases, three unique kinds of tastes for music and beats. And so what we always try to do is make sure that whatever we pick to rap over, that all three of us are excited about it. Because
Right.
if two of us are excited and one is kind of like, it's cool, I'll rhyme over it. But like, I don't want it to be like that. I want all three of us to be hyped. That's when you know it's right.
Of course.
So that's been the challenge. And I really think that I think the next project should be a one producer album. Only because I've had recent experience with one producer albums, and they're so much easier to put together, and it's just easier, like, than having to manage a lot of different moving parts. You
Right.
got, you know, the previous EMC records, you had 7, 8 different producers on the album, sometimes 9 producers on the album.
Right.
And so each producer is different. The sound is different. The way you mix it is different. Some producers want to be there for mixing, some don't. It's just easier to deal with one individual, one personality. And so that's one of the things I'm really emphasizing to the fellas is, if we're going to do this, we should really do it with one producer.
Definitely. Yeah, because with one producer, it's an identity, right? People are going to be familiar with that particular style and identity and personality of that particular album, and you can identify it, right? Versus
The
you
producer
would like,
he has to be versatile. He has to have a mixture of different styles and sounds within what he normally sounds like.
right,
Some producers can make 10 dope beats and all 10 kind of sound like the same vibe, same tempo, same, and you don't want that. So you want a producer that can be kind of all over the place, but still within his wheelhouse.
right. So would this be again, I'm a positive dude, man. I'm one of those cats. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. So, you know,
Okay.
after the dynasty was over, I stuck with them in the dark ages and they were horrible, but I'm just an optimist, man. That's just me. I can see Dr. Dre producing your album entirely. Like you said, you picked Dr. Dre, so I'm already thinking about it. Born to Roll, Part 2. Dr. Dre producing it, you being in New York, Corolla's driving. I don't know. I'm just visualizing Born to Roll, Part 2.
I don't
Or
do
like,
part twos.
no Part 2s?
I don't do part twos.
Damn. Okay. I thought I'd try. I thought I'd try with that.
I can do a song that might harken back to that energy, but
Okay.
I just don't believe in part twos, because to me, part 2 just means you've lost the mojo and you're trying to find it again by telling the audience, listen, guys, I can't think of anything else, so I'm gonna just try to do another version of what you already liked. Once you start doing part 2s, that's when you to me
Okay.
you start reaching. That's just me though.
I respect it. I respect it. But the Dr. Dre and you idea is still good though, right? Minus the Part 2. I think that's a dope, man.
Sure.
That'll be great, bro.
Sure.
That's it. That's history.
Make it happen.
That's right. We're gonna make it happen. All right. So it says, who as an international artist interest you, my friend, Master Ace? Any international artists that you have noticed that kind of just when you're hearing them?
Are those the questions that are in that question mark box?
Yes.
Okay. So if you touch the question, it actually comes up on the screen too. I don't know if you knew that.
Right.
If you touch the question, it'll pop up on the screen so everybody can read it.
Oh, boom. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Who's an international artist? Who as an international artist interests me? Oh man.
That's a good question.
International artists. I like some of the African songs that I've been hearing. There's some really dope. Is it called Afro beats? Yeah. It's like the Afro beats. I actually just recently collaborated with an artist from Tanzania, interestingly enough. And
wow.
And yeah, and they're singing and stuff like that, but I have the rap verse on it. And it sounds like a radio hit. And from what I hear, it's getting good airplay out there. You can find it. The song is called Fresh. The song is called Fresh.
Ooh.
It's called Fresh, and I cannot think of the name of the artist. Like
Damn.
I could go on the phone and find it, but it might cut out. It might.
Right. Yeah, we don't want to do all that. So we'll, you know.
But I did post the. If you can go to my IG page and just go back maybe a month. It's not that many boxes. Just scroll. And there's an actual picture of the single the single artwork, and it's an animation. It's 4 artists on the song. I'm one of them, and they drew all of us on the cover. It's a really cool looking. Whoever drew it, it's a really dope piece of art. And yeah, check it out, man. Check it out.
That's dope. And then yeah, thank you again, man, for helping me with that. Cause yeah, dude, when it comes to this IG live stuff, I know the basics, man. I'm like a caveman when it comes to that. So I didn't know about the whole question and answer thing. So thank you for that.
It's okay.
For schooling me on that.
So
Triborough.
Biking and breath control.
Yes.
I don't know the answer yet because I started biking during the lockdown, and my first show that I've done was this past Friday in Boston. That's the first show in 16 months. So I'm not sure if that's gonna. I have to wait until for a little, until I start doing more shows to really see.
Right.
We'll see though. I was already good with the breath control because before the pandemic. I was in the gym doing cardio and body weight training classes, HIIT classes, 3 days a week. So I was already pretty good. If anything, my breath control may have waned a little bit because I'm not working out as hard. We'll see.
Right. All right. So it almost go. Okay. So who's your favorite artist out right now?
Out right now?
Yeah.
See, I never know what out right now means. Does that mean like on the radio right now? Because I don't know if I listen to much on the radio. Like the brand new dudes, like I'm not really into them. But I will say this: my daughter was actually she did a really good job of making me aware of a couple of artists that I would not have known without her. And one of them is an artist named Corday.
Oh yes.
He used to be YBN Corday. Now he's just Corday.
He's talented. Yeah.
Super talented. And she put me onto him. And I like his music. He could rap. Straight up. He could rap. And
yes.
To me, that's what it's all about. And he's a humble kid too.
You could tell right away, right? You could tell. You could see it that he's genuine and humble for sure.
Yeah. So that would be my answer.
Dope, man. Yeah, and I think that's what he was referring to. Like probably more of the underground like MCs out that are kind of doing paying homage to the 90s and the boom bap stuff that are trying to continue it, but just in a modern twist to it. So yeah, and also I love that, man. I love that. There's another kid, Little D, Masta Ace. You've seen him, right? On IG, Little D, LILD. He's 16 years old, and he's boom bap, like straight up boom bap, and he can spit. But if you go on his IG page, I'll send it to you. Little D.
Send me a link.
Yeah, and ironically, it's Little the name. You would think it's gonna be like, nah, dude. This kid is like straight up boom bap, and he's 16 years old, and like he's been spitting. He's been doing it since he was 13, but he's getting noticed for sure. So,
yep.
Triborough, shout out to you, my brother, the Commission family. Lissy, I saw Masta Ace at a red light in '94. The homie, he's from Brooklyn, Triborough. So he said he saw you at a red light in '94. Wow, that's.
What was I driving? What was I driving?
There you go. He put you on the spot. What was he driving? Try. What was he driving?
Let's see if he's telling the truth.
All right, and then we got okay. This is a good question. Aveski. That's a good question, actually. Yeah. How did your live band come together for the Tiny Desk concert? You have to be one of my favorite hip hop. Okay, that's a good question. The Tiny Desk vibes, the whole concept of that.
So that band was Lee Hogan and the Pursuants.
Ooh.
A month or so before the Tiny Desk, I performed at the world famous Blue Note.
Wow.
In New York. And so when I performed at the Blue Note, the whole concept of those rap performances is you perform with a band. And so the Blue Note provided me with the band. So I showed up that afternoon for the Blue Note concert, and I had to rehearse with these guys. First time meeting them, like we rehearsed the day of the show.
Right.
And we caught a vibe. We did the show that night, And then the Tiny Desk thing came up like a little while later. And I reached back out to them and I was like, yo, you guys down to rock with me again and do this band thing? And, you know, my guy Lee Hogan's, he pulled the band together again. I rented a van. We drove down to DC, did the show, drove back.
Wow. That's super dope, man. And Tiny Desk, man, I just love it because it's like an intimate hip hop concert in a library. That's how I describe it. Just the vibes, very mellow, intimate, and you could just hear the music even clearer, if that makes sense. So you could just hear it. You're more in tune to it. It's closer. It's more intimate. And just being a part of that had to be amazing because, you know, a lot of legends have rocked that and rocked that Tiny Desk. And it's only right.
I was very afraid of if the vocals were going to be heard properly or not, because the mic is really not anywhere near you. Like, it's just like pointing at you. And I was like, are you sure it's going to, because I'm used to the mic right here, you know? And I wasn't confident that the mic was going to pick up my voice, but they were like, no, don't worry about it. You don't have to lean in or nothing. Just spit your stuff. And they were right. It came out beautiful. The vocal came out beautiful.
As your fellow Juice Crew brother, legendary Big Daddy Kane, also he did his thing on Tiny Desk concert. That was a nice one too. So
yeah, there's been a few good ones. Kane, Rakim, there's been a few good ones.
Yes, absolutely. This is another thing. I wanted to ask, Destroy, the homie Destroy from Show Off Your Gems, a phenomenal collectible show. Yeah. I Destroy. I've noticed like everybody's coming out with action figures. I think it's only appropriate and right that the Juice Crew, all of you guys, should have your own action figures. Would that be something that you would be interested in as a collector if you are one? Or would that be something that you would be okay with, like releasing a Masta Ace action figure and Juice Crew members? I think that would be super dope, man, for collectors and just, I don't know. I think it'll be a cool idea because you see a lot of it. You see Biggie, Pac, yeah.
Mine is already being developed. My action figure is already being. I just actually looked at a couple of the new mock-ups yesterday.
Oh my Lord!
So mine is already in the works. It's dope. And in terms of the Juice Crew, I mentioned it. I mentioned it to the fellas to see if there was interest, and there's like lightweight interest. I don't think they understand,
man,
what it can be, but I could see something like that happening with everybody down the road, especially the guy who's doing mine, because he's done the Wu-Tang ones.
Ooh.
He did the Ghostface one. He did the Raekwon one. He has an Inspector Deck one that's dropping.
Don't tell me it's Scarcio, bro. It's Scarcio from New Jersey. A Scarcio?
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, mine is already pretty close. I mean,
like
the mock-up is already pretty close.
Woo! Oh damn, dude. Wow. I'm glad I asked that.
If it comes out dope, then I'll definitely. He's gonna want me to probably reach out to Kane, reach out to Craig, Shantae, however he wants to do it.
So for the record, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know who Scarcio is, Concrete Jungle Studios, he's made phenomenal. He made a Raekwon figure, Ghostface, the Czarface. He's a talented brother and is super detailed to a T where it looks just like the individual. So, oh my God, I'm sorry, bro. All of us are hyped.
I know who he is. That's dope.
Dude, yeah, I'm a fan of his work. I just messaged him yesterday. Check this out. The Method Man one, the OG Method Man one that he did, the original one with the orange. He had the You're All I Need video with the patch. You know, he's got 4 different heads for Method Man. And the box came jacked up when I got the Method Man statue, and it was autographed by Meth. But the box, me as a collector, it's going to hurt. Like, it's going to piss me off. Like, dude, I spent a lot of money on this damn figure. I expect the box to be in pristine condition. Right. So the UPS guy was probably pissed at his wife, and he was playing kickball with who knows? You know, some of these delivery people are kind of not, you know, they toss it like Nerf balls, right? So I reached out to Scarcio, and I said, hey, my brother, I wasn't complaining. I was just letting him know the situation. He said, no need to say more. No need to say any more, bro. I'm going to send you another box. You're not the first person. So he's sending me a new Method Man box because the other one's got a hole in it. Like, literally somebody It looked like the gremlins were eating through it or something. It was past midnight. I don't know, man.
Customer
But
service. That's dope. That's dope.
super dope. Yeah. So shout out to Scarcio. And something, yeah, something told me to ask you that because I had a good feeling. So I'm glad I did ask you. And there you go. The news is out, and that's gonna sell out. That's gonna sell out pretty fast. So I'm gonna be on it. I'm gonna be on. I'm gonna be out like a detective staking out, man. With the, I'm gonna be on it. So that's super dope. You're gonna hook up with Scarcio. Much love to that. So all right, we got a couple of more questions, Master Ace. So we appreciate you taking the time to answer everybody's questions as best as you can. I know you're busy and you got the family, so we appreciate that. So a couple of more questions, and okay, sitting on Chrome. Okay, Eddie, sitting on Chrome lowrider model car. He's asking the question. Okay, Ed, is that a question? Sitting on, it's a question mark. Sitting on Chrome lowrider.
Pop it up on the screen.
There you go. I got it right there.
I guess he wants to know if we would do a
yes,
a toy, a model car of like I don't know which vehicle he thinks we should do. On the cover of Sitting on Chrome, it's the Suburban. So we could do. I actually have a Suburban, a toy car Suburban in this room right now. I could pull it down, but
that'll be great if you can. Yeah, that'll be super dope. Thank you. Yes, there you go. I'm trying to answer everybody's questions as best as I can too. I'm trying to balance everybody out. So I apologize for the people that I did not ask questions for, but I'm trying my best here. Wow. Once again, this is SlickBlast RapCast. I am the Barkin Nostalgic, and this is the legendary Master Ace about to show off a gem.
Gotta wipe some of this dust off.
Oh, I could only imagine. I could only imagine. Absolute classic, though, I'm sure. Wow.
Think about something like this.
Ooh. Damn.
Got the sound system in the back.
Look at that, man. Wow. It's in great condition too, man. Wow.
Yeah, the door came off though, and I'm missing a tail light. The back door is off, and it's a tail light missing. But
super dope. You can't even notice that. I mean, it's phenomenal, man. Super dope.
Sitting on Chrome, baby.
Love it, man. There you go, Ed. That was nice of you. Thank you, Ace, for doing that. Appreciate that. Earth asks, do you ride bike with Destroy? Because the homie Destroy of Show Off Your Gems, he rides a lot of bike as well in New York. And I was thinking that too, actually. Like, have you ever bumped into him, or do you guys ever?
I didn't even know he wrote.
Yeah, he's been posting on his stories lately. He's been writing a lot lately. He'll post on his stories once in a great while. So
I'm gonna hit him up and invite him because I had Havoc came out and rode with the crew.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yes. And
he's actually done three rides so far.
Super dope. Yeah, I saw him post that. Was that last week? If I'm not mistaken, did he posted that?
He was last week. The week. He's been out there like the last 3 weeks in a row.
Super dope, man. I love the whole community thing. A lot of the hip hop OGs coming together and riding bikes and just maintaining their youth. Yeah, it's crazy, man. You guys all look good, man. You guys look young, man. It's tripped out. Like it's crazy, you know.
Some of that is genetics, and some of that is just how you treat your body later in life. You know? Right. These young boys right now that are smoking cigarettes and drinking Hennessy every other night,
right?
Smoking cigarettes. If they stay on that path, they're gonna find out in 20 years if they keep doing that they're gonna look a lot older than their contemporaries because it just breaks your body down. It just breaks your body down. So, you know, if I had been eating cheeseburgers this whole time and, you know, drinking Hennessy every night with my peoples and smoking cigarettes and smoking weed, I would look completely different. My body would be different. My face would be different. Exactly.
Yeah, I've never, for me personally, man, I'm 41. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. Never.
Me either.
So yeah, very proud of that. That's great. Like even the smell, man, I gotta like run away from the smell. It's like Dracula's garlic. I just run away from the smell if I'm exposed to it.
I'm the same way. I'm the
Yeah,
same way.
I can't stand it, bro. But okay, so yeah, try just to save that question. I'm gonna save you from that because the gentleman Master Ace said he doesn't do part two. So I'm gonna save that question and I'm gonna answer that for you. Master Ace does not do part twos, and you'll see later on when I post it, you'll see why. So we won't go back into that respectfully.
Yep.
What do you think about all of the UFO footage lately? SOSAC. He's asking Master Ace, what do you think about all the UFO footage? I don't know that question pertain to. I don't even know. UFOs? He's referring to UFOs.
You got to pick these questions better. You got to skip some of that stuff.
Yeah, let me yeah, because that's
I don't even know what that is.
yeah, I don't even know what that is either. All right, so outside of rap. Okay, outside of rap. Okay, here we go. Bam.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier. It's
Yeah.
the soul and disco of the 70s and 80s that's what I use when I ride my bikes, and that's when I'm riding bikes. That's when my soul feels cleansed. It feels free, and that music takes me back to my childhood.
Thank you for revisiting that, Ace. This one's a good question. What was your silver lining about the pandemic? I call it the crapdemic. To you, Ace, was it quality time or was it rough?
It was both, but I got to spend a lot more time with my family. Discovering this bike riding thing has definitely been a silver lining. This group of guys, that are like-minded individuals that just want to get out and get some sun and get some air.
Yes.
And I've also had free time to work on some of my writing projects. I wrote a pilot for a TV series, and
Wow.
I've been working on a hip hop musical for the past 3 years. But during the pandemic, I got to really get more into it, getting it finished. So I'm into the rewrite phase of the musical.
Wow.
And the pilot is done. And I got 2 other episodes of the same series. So the silver lining is it's allowed me to work on other writing projects that I probably would have never had time to do properly.
And congratulations on and that's one thing, Ace, that we can relate to, right? I think that everybody can relate to, and I've said this before. If I take anything away from this pandemic, just being whatever the case is, just being away from loved ones and whatever the case was, I looked at it as a blessing as well, if that makes sense, because like you said, you had more creative process in your brain, more creative time to come up with these ideas and concepts. So that's the only positive thing that I took from the pandemic was this whole podcasting and this show. It came to fruition because of the pandemic, and that's the honest to God truth. So it was a blessing.
I want to shout out one of my former student athletes. I don't know if you knew this, but I coached high school football for 9 years in Brooklyn.
Oh wow!
At Canarsie High School, and
nice.
One of my pride and joys of the kids that I coached was this kid Danilo, who is now works at a hospital in Brooklyn as a physician's assistant. He was always a brilliant student in school. Always got A's. His family pushed him to just focus on schoolwork, and he handled his business, man. Went to college, became a PA, and now he's working. He's a physician's assistant working in a hospital, helping people on the front lines. So he jumped.
God bless.
He jumped on here real quick and just shouted me out. So I just want to take an opportunity to just acknowledge him because I'm proud of him.
Absolutely, man. That's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad you did. So the gentleman, is his name Danilo?
Danilo is his name.
Danilo, excuse me. Okay. Coach Ace. That's super dope, Ace. I didn't know that you were a football coach, huh?
Yeah, 9 years in Brooklyn, and then I coached 2 years in Jersey as well.
Oh, that's super dope, man. So obviously you're a sports head. You're a sports fanatic and obviously a mentor.
Football fanatic.
Football fanatic?
Yeah, more than anything.
So NBA, so not too much.
I watched this year. I was very interested in the playoffs. I watched the playoffs completely. I was into
Nice.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Favorite posse cut that you were a part of, by the way. Favorite posse cut. I know it's
The symphony. Let's go with that.
that's there you go. Try the symphony, my friend. That's a great pick, by the way. That's a great pick. Says American football. Yeah, that's super dope that I didn't know that you were a coach. So that's great, Bring giving back to the community and was it a high school or was it a
High
elementary
school.
school? High school?
High school. Canarsie High School in Brooklyn, and then Irvington High School for 2 years in Jersey. Irvington is actually the alma mater of Queen Latifah.
Oh wow.
She went to Irvington High School. Her mom, rest in peace, was a teacher there for many, many years. And while I was coaching there, people would always mention her mother, and like she was very, very, very well known. Miss Owens was very well known in that school.
Oh,
Yeah.
God bless. That's God bless. And your favorite football team? Because sometimes you could be from your home state and like other teams. Nowadays, it seems to be a thing now. But who is your from the heart? Who is your team?
But then
Your
Danilo already mentioned it in the chat. It's the Eagles. That's actually his favorite team too. I was an
Okay.
Eagles fan. I came up an Eagles fan since '80.
And Randall Cunningham is in my top five of all time quarterbacks. Randall Cunningham was a smooth operator, and I wish he never had the opportunity to win a ring, but that Eagles team was special. That Randall Cunningham was a beast. All right, the Eagles. All right, that's dope. That's dope. Um, so Canarsie is around my way. Okay, yeah, Triborough, the homie says Canarsie is around my way. Yeah, because he's in Brooklyn, so never got a chance, man. Never got a chance to go to Brooklyn, but once things get better, I definitely want to take a trip over there with my wife and get to see the history.
Where were you on the West Coast?
No, I'm actually
Oh,
Chicago,
Chicago. That's right. You said that.
Chi-Town, yeah.
All
So
right.
yeah, because we talked about the snow. You already know how that is. It's rough. Master Ace, have you had a chance to hit up the museum? There's a new museum that opened up in New York, and I'm not. Have you had a chance to hit that up by any chance? The
Universal
museum.
Hip Hop Museum. Yeah, I haven't been there yet. I know they broke ground on it recently. I don't believe it's complete. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be probably a 3 or 4 year project making it. But there are exhibits there. I guess there's a section where you can actually see stuff. Because they invite, but fairly recently, last month I would say, they invited me to a function and they presented me with an award for my contributions in hip hop. Shout out to Paradise Gray, who was instrumental in me getting an award that night. They acknowledged me, and I did one song. I did like a little one song performance at the event. But yeah, man, it's the Universal Hip Hop Museum, and like I said, they broke ground on it recently. It's gonna be a pretty big deal. Hopefully, it'll bridge the gap between the generations, because it is gonna be the home for all forms of hip hop.
Yeah, I gotta bring this up, man, because this is Echo Unlimited Underground Airplay, and it was also on your album as well. I believe it was Disposable Arts, The Acknowledge, and this is obviously in a positive light. Your verse, I mean, that Acknowledge track, that was. I went to a barbecue recently to visit some close friends of mine that I haven't seen in 2 years because of the pandemic, and a younger cat that I was, trying to school. He was 21, trying to school him on the OGs, and he's like, "Oh, I love battle rap. I love stuff like that." So I put on the Acknowledge song, and you know the rest, bro. Your verse on that Acknowledge song, just the whole thing, that was crazy.
What did he think of it?
He was blown away by it. He was blown away by it. Just everything. You basically verbally murdered that individual, and he was blown away by that. So I introduced him to Master Ace, 21-year-old kid.
That's dope. That's good exposure for him.
Yeah, because he was talking about Kendrick, J. Cole, the usual suspects, right?
I like those
Respect.
guys. Those guys are dope.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, people they're known in the mainstream, of course, but they're super dope. But I had to, you know, I had to let them know, like, look, man, you got to look at the foundation too, you know,
Yep.
the people, everybody that paved the way. So, yeah, man. So, no more questions. It looks like, all right. It looks like we're gonna, okay, we'll do this last question. Would you ever do a biopic on your life?
Um,
That's a good question.
I don't know about a biopic, but there is a biopic being done about the Juice Crew, which it won't be about my life, obviously, but I will at least be portrayed in that movie, and that'll be cool. You know, there's a filmmaker that's been traveling with me to different events over the past 4 years.
Okay.
He went to Europe with me on tour. He's been to several different performance events of mine, locally as well as abroad. And he's been capturing my life beyond music. So the music is part of it, but he's been capturing my life because I think the angle is he wants to show an artist that's at a latter part of his career where he's not the commercially, viable artist anymore, but is still found a way to have a fan base and make a living at this music, and at the same time living with this disease and MS. So because his mom has MS as well, so he felt attracted to the story based on that. And so
Right.
he's, like I said, he's been following me about 4 or 5 years. He's been just collecting footage. He's been to so many things I don't even remember half the stuff he's been at. But
Right.
he's always there. He's always got his camera. He actually rode with me to the Boston trip and just captured that because he wants to, because obviously the pandemic is going to be part of the storyline because that's something that was happening.
Right.
And so it'll be more like a documentary. So it's not going to be a biopic where there's actors portraying me, but certainly this is a cool way to kind of show my life.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that version of it.
Absolutely. That'll be great, man. That'll be great to show the history of you guys. It's very important to hip hop culture as a whole, as we love this beautiful culture. And there was a song that I just recently heard. I wasn't aware of, but I had to dive into it. Home in America.
Yeah.
How did you get into that project? It was definitely interesting, man. It had I don't know, like a theater, like a soundtrack vibe to it, like a story.
Jazz. It was a jazz ensemble.
Yeah.
This I was asked to rap over these jazz tunes.
Straight butter, man.
Shout out to my guy Ben Rubin, because he's really the person who asked me to be on the song. He had pulled together a bunch of these really well-known jazz musicians and did a bunch of jam sessions. And then he took pieces of that music and created tracks with it. And so I guess the tracks were already released, but now he wanted to take one of the tracks and turn it into a rap joint. And he asked me to be on it. And I wrote this song, Home in America, and it's getting a lot of attention, like way more than I would have expected. Been doing a lot of press for it.
Right.
It's being submitted for a Grammy. I don't know if it's going to get nominated, but it's being submitted.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
There's a lot of stuff going on with that track. Something I wasn't even it wasn't even really on my radar like that. But I like the song and I like what I wrote to it and I like the music. So hopefully it gets the attention it deserves.
Yeah, you know what? I enjoyed it, man. It has. I was just taking my time hearing it, and it's very profound. Yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's interesting. It sounds like it can be on a autobiographical like a movie type of deal, like a soundtrack. It's just a nice twist to it, and the jazziness of it too. I love it, man. I'm a sucker for jazz horns, and it's a nice mesh with you guys. The collaboration. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. So my brother, I don't wanna take too much time up, man. You've been gracious and obviously you're a humble dude and an OG. I appreciate you being on, man. It's this is one for the books for me, man. Like I said, personally, a Chicago kid growing up, listening to, 90s hip hop. You were in the forefront of it. And this is a dream come true. So thank you for making that a reality, my brother. I appreciate this. Shout out to Wordsworth for making this happen. Who would have thought I'm listening to your cassette back in the day, taking the bus with my fruit bowl haircut, as I mentioned, my fade, my $5 grandmother fade, bumping Master Ace and the Juice Crew, to now talking to Master Ace, talking about his wonderful stories, just the tales that in the life situations you've been through. I appreciate you, man, and we all appreciate you. So I want to thank you once again for being on SlickBlast RapCast. And again, it's important again to give you your flowers while you're physically here, my brother. So again,
Thank
I
you.
want to let that be known. So continue to rock the crowd. One last one. This is from me. You and Marco Polo, because you guys, again, you mesh so well, bro. Can we expect another Marco Polo Master Ace album?
Yeah, I already have 20 beats from him.
Ooh.
I've written to 2 out of the 20, and he's waiting patiently. I just told him I just got to get 2020 in my rearview mirror completely,
Damn.
because I didn't want the whole album to be about the pandemic and the presidential election and all of that
Oh,
kind of stuff.
nah. None of that political crap.
Yeah, because that all would have been in there, and I wouldn't have been, because it was just consuming my mind. So that's what it would have sounded like. And so I just told him, like, give me a year, let me get past this, and then we can come with a clear conscience and write it from that perspective. So things are starting to feel better, clearer, and I'll definitely be writing more songs real soon.
Looking forward to that, man. You guys make dope music together, so I think that's definitely keep that going. Shout out to EMC as well, the Juice Crew. God bless you, man. You and your family, good health, good
Thank you.
spirits. And I will be I'm gonna holler at you once I post post everything, and so everybody that missed it can check it out. And I'm definitely gonna cop that hoodie, bro. I have to. That's mandatory for me. So I'm gonna do that because that way I can protect this dome in the winter.
There you go. There you go.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, many blessings to you, Master Ace. And man, I would love to do it again when you're not busy, because I know you're a busy brother. So it'll be dope to
When,
chop it up with
when the
again with
album
you.
when the album drops. When the album drops.
That sounds good. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right, my brother. God bless, man.
Thank you, man.
Peace out.
Peace.
Yes, sir. All right. So there you heard it. There you heard it. Master Ace, one of the books. SlickBlast RapCast, Master Ace. Hope you guys enjoyed this wonderful segment of SlickBlast RapCast. He answered a lot of questions. I hope I did my best with answering everybody's questions. I try my best to balance everything out. So I hope I've answered. Yes, thank you, sis. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Salute to you. Thank you for supporting. Definitely the support is real. And thank you, my brother. Yes, Ivesky, Triborough, Earth. Thank you, sis. Eddie, thank you for being on, my brother. Great one. Oh, thank you. I try to answer everybody's, man. Honestly, I try my best, So I hope I did a good job. By the way, these shirts, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you guys. These shirts, the wife did a phenomenal job at making these shirts. So SlickBlast RapCast, we're gonna start getting into that the shirt aspect of it. And yeah, they're gonna come out pretty nice. They look pretty dope, and we'll be having a specific amount of colors, obviously, that reflect the logo and an insignia. You watched every minute. I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, Master Ace is hands down top 10. Absolutely. He's a good brother. So yeah. So I will be posting. Thank you, Khalil. Thank you, my brother. Give us a follow, and we'll continue this gravy train, and you get to see all the other dope interviews moving along. Thank you, my brother. Yeah, so these shout out to Dilla's Delights, by the way, Yuri. I saw him yesterday and Uncle Herm of Dilla's Delights. So I want to say much love to everybody being on. And again, SlickBlast RapCast t-shirts are coming at some point, dad hats, snapbacks, and little by little, we're doing a trial run right now, but I'm feeling good about it. So hopefully you guys can support. And yeah, DM me for any details and info about the shirts. All right. So I want to say thank you for being a part of this dope segment. Master Ace and myself. I am the Ball Kid Nostalgic. This is SlickBlast RapCast. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.